I don't know what's happening to my boobs, but I'm constantly smelling of I hate milk. But then my husband's Punjabi and he loves milk. So,
Intimacy is like dancing. And if you're really good dancers with each other in general, just because the rhythm changes, it doesn't mean you stop dancing. You just have to kind of adapt to a new rhythm. And when you have to have good sex, you have to be very much in your body. You have to possess your body to actually experience pleasure. It's so funny when you have to go in for your first interview, you will train yourself and prepare yourself, but nobody gives you any training when it comes to being a parent and what to expect.
There's so much stuff you just learn on the
And no
fly.
one gives you any training about how to navigate the bedroom after.
Mama.
Please stop. Welcome to the Motherlords.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Motherlords.
Wow,
Chicka wow.
Yeah, baby. That's what this episode is about.
Today is going to be a very honest one. We're going to talk about what happens in the bedroom or what doesn't happen in the bedroom. So this one's NSFKP.
Just say it. Everyone's a mum. Nobody understands what that means.
Not safe for kids or parents. It's a sexy special episode.
Alicia is very proud of that acronym. She made it up all by herself.
But
Yeah.
we are your hosts. I'm Hina, mum to 5-year-old twin boys.
I'm Alicia, mum to a 5-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy.
And I'm Ria for now. Later on, I might have a sexy stripper name. Mum to a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Girls. They're both girls.
And we have with us a really special person who's going to talk all about intimacy and relationships. She's a relationship and intimacy counselor, Parinaz Aga. Parinaz, will you tell us something about yourself for our listeners?
In a very sexy voice.
I'll try. So hello everyone, I'm Parinaz Aga and I work as a counselor. Most of my clients come in with relationship issues. I am also a certified intimacy coordinator, so I work on film sets as an intimacy coordinator. And when I'm not doing that, I'm a full-time mom to 6-year-old and a 7-year-old, one boy, one girl. And it's quite chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in the same boat. And also
Same rocky boat.
same rocky boat. And also I took a lot of, so I know Pari personally for a long time before we had kids even. And I took a lot of inspiration for how to manage two with such a close age gap from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brave or it's very stupid.
Yeah.
I know.
But we survived.
Yeah.
Surviving.
Okay, so first question from the Motherlords. We're all wondering, who's doing it? Is anyone doing it after having kids?
So I have a bigger question. It depends on, were you doing it before you had kids? Or did you...
We had those kids.
Yeah, but a lot of people seem to go into that space of doing it for kids and then doing it like regimental practice, counting days and dates and sonographies and waiting. And if the duration of that experience is very prolonged, once you're pregnant, it's almost like done. And then that could put you in a really, really bad space. So what your intimate life was before is possibly going to give you a clue as to what it could be after children.
I have a follow-up question specifically to that. Both my kids were accident babies. No one was counting dates. No one was clearly using contraception. And, but, so it was active and good and very fun. And then we had kids. And then it was like, you smell like milk. Your body is like, weird and bloaty. There's something attached to you constantly. I don't know what's happening to my boobs, but I'm constantly smelling of milk. I hate milk. But then my husband's Punjabi and he loves milk. So,
That works for so many people.
yeah, but it wasn't working for me. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. And it was like, stay away, don't touch me. I feel so like, like
Touched out.
yeah, but before it was great. Like everything was great because we had, we didn't have that experience of like, making the sex clinical.
So let me put it this way. Intimacy is like dancing. And if you're really good dancers with each other in general, just because the rhythm changes, it doesn't mean you stop dancing. You just have to kind of adapt to a new rhythm. And maybe that's what you went through. Like you went through a period where you were trying to adapt to a new rhythm, new fetishes maybe. And you were also telling yourself a completely different story about what that sexy you was. Like earlier, what you might have ascribed to being or feeling sexy might be a particular shape or a particular fragrance or a particular setting. And now, when you are in this postpartum phase, you have to redefine these things for yourself. And
Yeah.
sexy can be smelling like milk.
Oh my God.
For who?
Yeah.
For Punjabi men?
Yeah.
It seriously works for a lot of couples.
Oh,
It's a major kink for a lot of people. And it
Really?
really works for a lot
For
of
like
people.
men?
Yeah.
Don't they remember their mums? I don't know. Like,
oh my
I
God,
think-
this is like throwing many images in my
Yeah.
head.
no, I mean, like, because that's like your association with breastfeeding is when you were a kid and you were like,
I think it maybe has to do something about like you are providing for their offspring and that makes you, I don't know, maybe I'm just making stuff up, but is that what they find sexy?
I
What's this
don't,
fetish all about?
I won't be able to like specify what a fetish is for each person, but for everyone, and any form of intimate contact basically is fulfilling something within them, which is like a deep desire. And the desire could be anything. Like the desire could be for one partner, say the partner who is breastfeeding. For that partner, the desire can be one of nurturing, giving, providing, feeling earthy, feeling creative, feeling fertile. And for the other partner, it could possibly be feeling taken care of, feeling safe, feeling nurtured, maybe regressing into a form of infantile role, during that exchange of intimacy.
but like postpartum, our bodies go through so much. So, how do you like go back to rebuilding that? How do you get back to sex? Like, what are the red flags of postpartum that, your partner can look out for and how can they seek help for it?
So, one is I wouldn't put the onus of responsibility on your partner to look out for red flags. I think you have to start figuring out what is normal for you and your version 2.0 body. Like, So, even when it comes to the frequency of sex, what is normal? Like, I get asked this very often, like, how many times a month is normal? And I'm like, you tell me, like, you've been doing it, right? So, how many times a month
That
is
was going
normal
to be
for you?
Alisha's next question to you.
No,
Yeah.
I was controlling myself.
So normal can be anything. It could be once in 2-3 months. It could be a daily thing for 5 days in a row. It depends on the libido of the couple,
Right.
and how, and also your libido fluctuates in time. Like just like your hunger fluctuates for food, similarly your libido will fluctuate, right? And so it's something that you have to go with the flow. You have to, just like you keep asking yourself, am I really hungry, before you just tuck in every meal. That's what you also have to kind of keep checking in with yourself, that where are you at when it comes to, are you feeling sexual enough or not, or sexy, or are you feeling that there's a dip in your libido? Are you feeling particularly depressed? Postpartum, it's a little complicated. Each partner goes through a different journey. So the partner who's just obviously been through the pregnancy and delivery has a set of raging hormones, which actually do play a
sorry.
good role for a lot of people. Those hormones work.
Oh, yeah?
But if you're breastfeeding and you are feeling touched out, there's also the possibility of pain postpartum. So pain's a major factor where it kind of like will put you off having any sort of um, intimate contact that might aggravate the pain. But of course, there are other ways to play as well. And the other things that could be really interfering with your libido is the fact that you suddenly have too many people around you, and everyone thinks your private space is all right for them to walk into or wade into. So if you probably have someone who's giving you a massage, who's rubbing you down for a bath, who's adjusting your breasts to teach you how to latch your baby on, who's you constantly going for checkups,
Spreading your
parents,
legs for
in-laws
everybody.
might just keep walking in, waltzing in, giving you advice, taking the baby from you just after you finish feeding. If you are, oh my God, if you're like using machines to pump, like you start feeling like you don't own your own body, and you stop feeling like your intimate parts are your intimate parts. It's like suddenly public property.
Yeah.
And I think that is where the disconnect begins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you have to look after this part of you, you have to certainly lay down certain boundaries so that you're honoring yourself and not feeling like you've
So
lost
exposed.
control and so exposed of
Yeah.
with
Oh,
your
you said
own
it
body.
so well.
This
Yeah.
is exactly it.
This
I
is
didn't
it.
know this.
I didn't know this.
Because this is so true, and now I understand what you're saying, because once I had the boys home from the hospital, and I was pumping, and I remember I was an angry person every time I had that pump attached to me. And to the extent that if Mishal would walk into the room and he saw that I was pumping, he would quickly exit because he was so scared.
knew what was going on.
Yeah, he was like, something's gonna piss you off and you are just gonna blow. And it makes sense because
Yeah.
I was so much happier once I stopped breastfeeding. And I know that may be controversial,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it just it
Yeah.
I don't know what it did to me, but it did not make me feel like myself.
Dude, when we had our kids, it was during COVID,
It
the
was
first
COVID,
one,
the
you know,
first one.
and we were all locked up in a house and there was no space. And I remember I was staying with my parents and I literally was confined to one room where everything was happening in that one room. And then it became like a space for me, my baby, my husband, everyone was there.
Yeah.
So there was no privacy. There was no, like, anyone who wanted to meet the baby would come in. So while I'm feeding, there would be people walking in and out. And I didn't have like, I was just like, I may as well, just walk around naked. Like, it doesn't matter. Because there was no space, but I never understood that that made such a big difference because it just kind of like puts you off then.
Yeah.
Like, it puts you off mentally. So you don't want to do anything physically.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're so upset with everything that's going on, the first thing that you do is you disconnect with your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have to have good sex, you have to be very much in your body. You have to possess your body to actually experience pleasure. So if you're disconnecting and you're going into that whole zone of, okay, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm doing all my duties, and this is okay, and trying to kind of like pushing a lot of barriers altogether and grappling with all of these changes that are happening to you that you'd not really like voluntarily agreed to, but they're just happening.
Yeah, yeah.
You
and-
disconnect with your body.
So when something like this happen, and a lot of women go through this, right, in their postpartum journey, and you're maybe recognizing that you're building this resentment, maybe with your own body, maybe with your partner, emotionally, physically, feeling that disconnect. How do you overcome those challenges? How do you then get back,
And find your way back to your body.
to your body, and back to that whole intimate relationship that you had with somebody else?
So I'm really tempted to say this. I think you need to talk to your partner. But I know the reality. I understand reality. Sometimes your partner doesn't know how to have this conversation either. They're as lost as you are. And they're trying to grapple with this new identity of being a parent as well.
Yeah.
And they're trying their very best to see you as a sexual partner and not just a parent to a child that has come in. There's a lot of pressures on them as well. It's not like they're going through this process. Yes, you're going through the hormonal and physical process along with the emotional, but your partner is also going through a whole avalanche of emotions, roles, ideas, stressors, centering around his or her partnership with you
Yeah.
or their partnership with you. So this is where it's really, really important that if you identify this within yourself, my best answer would be talk to your partner. And then if you both are mature enough to have that conversation without shaming or blaming each other, then great. But if you can't, then get in touch with somebody who can help you. And this cannot be a relative. It cannot be a friend. It cannot be anyone who you feel might view you with judgment.
Yeah.
So it has to be a professional. And it has to be a space where you can go and talk openly. Because when you realize that you're not isolated and alone in what you're feeling, you're more likely to then find the courage to kind of make the changes that you need to make, the minor changes you need to make.
Wow, I wish you had been there when I had my first baby, because I was a crying, raging mess. I was couldn't deal with the breastfeeding. I couldn't deal with the sleep deprivation. Couldn't deal with my husband also dealing with this new role and being oh, come on. And it was just me, my mom, and Ishan, and it was COVID lockdown, and yeah, I was just sobbing, and my mom was like, "Get your shit together. We all did this," and I was like, give me a second to process. And I don't think I had any time to process. I couldn't even think about all these things about settling into a new identity. I just had to roll with it.
It's so funny when you have to go in for your first interview, you will train yourself and prepare yourself, but nobody gives you any training when it comes to being a parent and what to expect.
There's so much stuff you just learn on
And
the
no
fly.
one gives you any training about how to navigate the bedroom after. It's like this taboo thing that you're just supposed to figure out alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's so unfair.
Yeah.
So unfair.
Even when you get married, even when you're, everyone's just always focused on the whole act of getting married, the wedding.
The wedding.
And the wedding, and then what happens?
The first day of the rest of your life.
After that, it's I used to have, I'm sorry, parents, this is not an episode for you. I used to have great sex right up until I got married. And then I got married. And then I moved into the house with, other people. And it was a different environment. I was homesick. Things didn't belong to me. It was another type of change. Like when you have kids, it's another type of change. That was another type of change. And slowly, I think you realize how to deal with that also. But you're right. Nobody prepares you for it. Nobody prepares you to expect what to expect and how to navigate that. And what can people do to kind of be kinder to each other when this happens? Because I was not kind. We were not kind to ourselves, to the other person, and you're so overwhelmed. You feel like you're the one who's constantly caring for the child, your husband, the family. At the end of the day, you're exhausted. You don't have time to play when you're exhausted. So how do you feel how can you get back to that feeling of wanting to play?
So I think it's really important for everyone to start compartmentalizing certain things. Sex needs to be kept in your mind, at least, in a separate box. And your relationship, your duties, the conversations you have, the childcare juggle that you do needs to be different things. Mixing up sex with love or the question, do you love me, is a disaster. You're mixing up too many things. Using sex as a weapon, holding back sex, demanding it, having all of these awkward conversations around sex, which are all actually other conversations. They're conversations about roles and duties and figuring out a process that works between two people. They're not conversations about sex. So every time one has to segregate between these problems that every new couple or new parent goes through, you have to be able to, in your mind, say, sex is exclusive of that.
Right.
And only then can you start navigating a completely different relationship in the bedroom with your partner, where you can shed these personas that you hold all through the day in front of everyone and get into your costume and play.
and take on a new persona.
Yes, a new
role.
persona.
A new name.
A new name.
A new name.
Yeah, if you don't like to be called wife, you can be called something else
Like
in the bedroom.
like you.
I'm not telling.
So, that's interesting that you say that, where you sort of compartmentalize. But what do you do when you genuinely maybe have mismatched libidos, right? Where one partner has a higher sexual desire, the other one doesn't. And I know you touched upon this, that you'll go through seasons of, it's not always going to be constant. How do you navigate a situation like that?
So I think it's really important in the beginning to first understand why your libido may have changed from what it was and what you were confident about earlier. If it is something like hormones or pain, then that needs to be addressed before you can address anything in the bedroom. You have to be able to possess your body and feel good in it. If the mismatched libido is because of a belief system that you have about maybe the way your body looks or how you smell or how you feel, or you are not satisfied with what you are looking at, or it's for you, you think, okay, now I am unsexy. If that is the undercurrent or the inner talk that is going on, then that could be a reason. If it is exhaustion, where you are doing everything and not delegating, then maybe that needs to be addressed. How do I rope in more people? How do I ask for help when I need it? How do I maybe demand help before someone demands sex, right? So what you have to do is first you have to identify what is particularly affecting your libido. And it won't be just one thing. It might be a mixture of things.
Yeah.
Then address the things that you can actually practically address. And then you move into, okay, how do I get back into feeling my best self? And those are conversations.
So it's really like look inwardly and try to basically get in touch to recognize the issues.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot
is
of
it
that.
an age thing also? Like, as they say that as women are younger, they have a higher sex drive, and then as you grow older, then your sex drive depletes, but the man's sex drive increases.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think anyone told me that.
Oh, really? I always believed this. I don't know why.
No.
I've just been stressing about my sex drive going down over the years.
I think you're manifesting that and then believing it yourself.
Oh my God.
Well, if your body is aging poorly and not in balance, maybe the kind of medical issues that you have may interfere with your
Sure.
libido.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you have high diabetes or if you have a thyroid imbalance, it will definitely affect you. But if you're fairly healthy, like vitally healthy, you should be pretty all right.
Vitally.
Yeah, you should be. If anything, sex in long-term relationships seems to be more fulfilling. At least based on the work I do, younger people have more inhibitions and a lot more expectations, and so the disappointments are higher. And as you stay longer with a partner, you just learn how to dance better.
Do
Yeah.
the horizontal number.
And then you
Yeah.
feel comfortable enough, I guess, over time to try new things and to experiment more and to not be scared of doing things that, start with a Shubham and end with a Shubham. Alicia was trying to find sexy stripper name generator.
No, a BDSM
A
name generator.
BDSM.
S&M, yeah.
Yeah,
S&M.
S&M.
S&M generator. And in our Google, the first thing that came up was Indian names that start with an S and end with an M.
Shubham.
Shubham.
No offense to any Shubhams who are
Yeah.
watching us.
I think,
You should be honored, in fact.
yeah. You know how your parents got your name.
Okay, but then sort of then getting into the fun part, if you've like navigated all these conversations and come out the other side of the tunnel, what are some fun ways to like spice up your love life, like Netflix and actually chill?
So here I'm going to particularly pick from a book which has really helped kind of formulate this answer. The authors are Celeste Hirschman and Daniel Harrell, and the book is called Coming Together. And it's all about discovering your sexual fantasies and kind of living them out and enriching your uh, intimate life with that. And these authors say that it starts with being able to communicate what your sexual fantasies are. And these might change over time, but for the most, they're the same for a lot of people. And the book also is where kind of talks about how these fantasies might have developed or how these things may have developed in time. But for our conversation here, what is really important is to be able to have these conversations without obligating your partner to fulfill the fantasy,
Mm.
just as a matter of getting to know each other and also being able to listen to them in return without holding judgment, without criticizing, just out of a space of curiosity for wanting to know this very personal inner world that your partner has. That's the first step, and then you can go crazy from there. Then it's up to you. It's not an obligation for you to fulfill it, but if you so desire to experiment, explore, be curious, you can then, to whatever degree that you are comfortable with, explore and fulfill those fantasies for each other. These fantasies could be anything. It can be from a space of, it could be a question like, so what is when you were most charged up, when you were most aroused, what is it that you love feeling? Do you love feeling like you're in control? Do you love feeling like you are submissive and helpless? Do you love feeling like you are being nurtured? Do you love feeling like you are being like you are a god or a goddess and you're being worshipped? What is it that
Ooh.
what is it that drives you? What is the inner voice that keeps you, turned on? And and if your partner can answer that, it gives you a clue as to how you can make them feel like that, and vice versa for you. And then you have to learn to dance on the new rhythm, which is with this new body and with the smell of milk. And maybe a baby in the bed. And maybe, I don't know, a jhapa, mom-in-law, multiple people all over the place. How are you going to make that space for yourself and your partner to actually enjoy that together and actually play
You're
when you are
telling
not in
me
these roles?
you're telling me I have to go home and like splash milk on myself.
If
I
that
like
works,
Sarda
yeah.
Farms. I need one more bottle.
Sarda Farms is
Ria's gonna bring sexy back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Them other boys don't know how to act. Dirty babe. You see these shackles, baby. I'm your slave.
Yeah.
Karan's
Yeah.
watching.
Karan is going to be so happy with this episode because you said the main thing you said is compartmentalize. This is what he's been saying to me my entire life. Like,
He's going to say, I told you so.
yeah.
This
I
is
gave him I
this is
told you
like
so
a
moment.
this is like a very recently there was a meltdown in Ria's house, kids crying, someone throwing food, someone doing, like, it was chaos. And Karan's like, but just come in the bedroom. I need to have a chat with
You
you.
just come 2 minutes. We'll just quickly have a conversation. I was like, but I'm in the middle of like 20 things. Arey, yeah, just come now. It's okay. Just come now.
Steam off.
It won't take long. And now he's going to be like, see, I told you.
You're just giving him a hall pass.
Best friend kiski hai?
So you spoke about a book, right? Are there any other maybe resources or things that you think would help us or maybe help the people who are listening to us?
Open our eyes.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
movies.
Movies.
Something that made me feel good again, or something that these girls recommended to me, was to just get a vibrator. And it's like, I felt like I was living under a rock. And it
maybe
just kind of helped me feel a little sexy again.
So I think what each person can do is reconnect with their...
I feel like I had lost that.
Exactly. You have to reconnect with that part of you that you feel is missing but is just temporarily dormant. and kind of reconnect and find out what it is that really helps you get back into that space of feeling like you live in your body for pleasure. Now, whether it is a toy to help you, whether it is a costume, its scents, its flavors. Maybe for somebody, the entire build up with roses and flowers would work. Maybe for someone else, it would be, dressing up or being ordered around. I mean, it's so sexual experiences are as varied as people and personalities. So it would be very, um, uh, you know, it would be like lip service if I said that, yeah, these are the top 5 ways in which you can bring it back. You can't bring it back in the top 5 ways because there are not just any 5 ways. It
Yeah,
is,
you never know until you
it's all
try. Because in the
yes,
beginning,
it's
Yeah.
all
I
an
was like,
exploration.
what? Like, this is something people do? Like, I'm married. Why do I need one? And then I tried it and I was like, it's not so bad. Yeah, this is fun.
You can also use it with your partner. That's also fun.
Cool.
Alicia's like
Star
turning
poker
50,
place.
like 50 shades of red right now.
But
It's like too much.
I have a question for you. If somebody were to come to you, say like a couple comes to you, what does a typical session look like in terms of how would you help them navigate challenges?
When a couple comes to me to talk about intimacy,
Yeah.
it's usually because of a complete lack of intimacy that existed prior, or because they are in love with each other but are unable to be sexually intimate with each other. And that's usually when the couples really push to a point of saying, okay, should we separate or should we go see a counselor or a couples therapist? And so most of my clients come to me at that point. And or if there is a vast difference in libido, which was unfortunately discovered after a kind of commitment that you can't go back on. I've also had couples coming to me because they have shared maybe particular desires and fantasies, which the partner may have found difficult or unacceptable and felt very judgmental about. And so when couples come to me, it's usually with things like that. And my process with everyone is to start working from first trying to eliminate the blame and shame in the conversation. Because when you're talking about intimacy, you're being so vulnerable with your partner. And if what you encounter then from them is blame or shame, basically you will shut down and disconnect from your body and hence disconnect from the relationship.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you can meet your partner with deep empathy, with playfulness, even if you meet your partner with curiosity and giggles, where you are under absolutely no condition going to obligate them or do any of that, but if you're all right with it, if you can embrace it and you can laugh about it and cuddle them for it, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So the intention usually is to take the couple from that space of being very angry or feeling like they have been cheated or feeling like they have been done wrong to, and bring them into a space of complete compassion with each other. And then whatever they decide is up to them, as in,
Right.
if they decide to stay together, not stay together, work on it, don't work on it, that's up to them.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be like an extreme situation also, right? It can also be like someone comes to you with a where they're okay otherwise, but there is just like they used to have great sex, but now they don't anymore.
Honestly, I've never had someone come in only with that.
Really?
Yeah, usually when people come in, they won't talk about everything but sex. And it's usually the question I pose. And I'm like, so what's the intimacy like? And they're like, oh, can we talk about that? And I'm like, yeah.
Because I think it's such a taboo
Because
where
people
people
don't
feel
know.
Yeah.
it's not about even knowing, right? I think there is a taboo about sex, right? As in being open about it. And I think if you aren't having it, you also maybe somewhere feel ashamed because you're like, oh, but everybody else
Else
is,
seems
and
to be
everyone
doing it,
else's
yeah,
relationship is perfect. And if mine isn't, and what if somebody's judging me?
Or
You know what I
sometimes
mean?
you may not even recognize that that is the actual problem. Like you may
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah,
you're fighting a
potentially.
lot, and that
But the
takes a
disconnect
back
is something else.
yeah, that takes a back
Mm.
seat, and you don't realize that, oh, there's an issue with your sexual life, but uh, till you actually go and see somebody for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And there should not be any shame in actually going and seeing someone
Yeah,
for
sometimes
it.
you just need another perspective to tell you, like, okay, these are the things that are going wrong, and work on this, and your sex life will automatically wake up.
I also have noticed is a lot of people normalize losing connection
Yes.
and intimacy because it's far easier to just normalize that and then ignore it
Yeah.
than actually actively have all these uncomfortable conversations
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
go pay a therapist to talk about it, like seriously.
And then
So they'll be like, oh, but now we're parents, oh, but now we're this and now we're that, and
Yeah.
now we're older and now X, Y,
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm getting
Yeah.
older, so my sexual drive is
Yes.
dipping down.
Dipping
Or,
down,
yeah, you
exactly.
justify all of these
Yeah,
things in
yeah.
your head.
And then you just kind of do it to like please the other person and finish it off, or like just
Yeah.
to kind of, just okay, get it done with. Like it's a part of your day and a part of your chores, but there's no actual pleasure in it for you.
Yes. And
And
then that's just like sad.
that's sad. But then you normalize
Sad
that also.
sex.
You're like, oh yeah, that's
Sad
part and
sex.
parcel. Like, now everything in my life is that. Like I'm living for others. I don't. मेरे बच्चे, मेरा पति, मेरा घर.
This is like Yashar. मेरी जिंदगी में बहुत कष्ट है.
Okay. So this is really interesting. So, I mean, just to recap and summarize, you're saying, obviously go back, look inwards, really try to figure out where you're feeling the disconnect with your body. Obviously, things change post kids, right? Your body changes, your hormones may take a toll. There's all of these people in your personal space.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, exhaustion. Figure out those boundaries, right? And then have conversations with your partner. Seek help if you need to.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Role
all is
play.
not doomed. All is not lost. Role play. And try, and I say try because I feel like it's so easy to be like, you didn't do this or you didn't do that. And so, you feel that disconnect in the bedroom as well.
Yeah.
So you're saying really think about sex as like a different
Compartmentalize
yeah,
it.
yeah. It doesn't have to be part of your daily persona, right?
And I think to add to that, take complete responsibility. The minute our inner talk is shifting the responsibility of this onto your partner or onto situations outside of you, means you're actively participating in not having a fulfilling intimate relationship with yourself and with others. So you have to take complete responsibility for your role that you are playing to make this reality happen. So like one of the most important things is grooming and hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take full responsibility and if you look at yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm doing too much, I'm taking on too much, and I'm not getting the time to groom myself and present myself in the way that I am feeling most comfortable and settled in my body, then maybe that's something you have to do. You cannot say my partner has to deal with it. So shifting responsibility onto situations, environments, and your partner will not help you. Take full responsibility for your bit so that then you can have these conversations without blame or shame.
That is so interesting.
But how self-aware do you have to be?
Yeah. I was
Because
just
it's so
thinking that.
easy for anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not just for your sexuality or your sex life, but just for everything to like
everything.
blame an outside
Yeah.
Yeah.
person or situation.
Yeah, but I think body confidence aside, it's really something, I didn't ever think, okay, I gotta look inward a bit and think about everything that I'm taking on, and then to have this honest conversation with my partner and be like, this is where I feel like I really need support, and then I will feel like I have the time to look after myself and then have the time to, play with you.
I like what you said earlier. What did you say? You said something like demand the
Demand
help
Yeah.
so that you can have that fun or demand fun or whatever it is
Yeah.
in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I
Seek
like
support
that.
has
Yeah. Yeah.
been a long, hard learning lesson for me.
No, because even and please tell our viewers also about the movies that you were talking about, because just before the episode, she's talking about some movies that would help us, just, I don't know, like expand our.
Your
To
weekend
help you get it
plans are
on.
sorted.
Just have some fun, guys.
So, like I said earlier, I'm a certified intimacy coordinator, and there's like a small group of us in India, I think about 10 or 12 of us now. And we decided this year to start a movie club so that we may watch content, which is not your everyday content, which is like, run of the mill stuff, and get inspired and expand how we creatively think about how intimacy can be depicted on screen, and the way depicting intimacy also kind of fuels the imagination of the
Yeah.
masses, and kind of helps everyone explore their own intimacy through media. And it's been a couple of weeks, and we've gone through some beautiful films. And so if anyone wants to watch, I think you could possibly like
We'll put it up.
Yeah,
We'll
put
put
them
it up
down.
in
in
the
our
list.
description.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
could do that.
Yeah. So can we do like a quick fire rapid round sort of thing with you where you debunk some social media myths?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you had a baby and everyone says 6 weeks and you're good to go, like, everyone's having sex again and your body's back to normal.
No, I think everyone's body heals at a different rate, and you need to honor that. You cannot be honoring a deadline. It's like 24 and you got to be married and have kids. It doesn't work like that.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't
I
work
would.
like that.
Yeah, that was a question for you for later.
Even the other one, where are 12 are high absorbent sanitary pads, and you can be playing basketball. Maybe you don't want to play basketball on that day, yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of you
Oh,
need to just
shit.
honor your body.
Okay, date nights fix it all.
Do they?
I mean, that's for you to answer.
Yeah.
I don't think so again. I'm not sure what a date night would do for a couple if the couple sees that as a form of foreplay. If they see that as feeling nurtured, cared for, looked after as foreplay before, then yes, it might fix it for you. But if you're not that couple, and if it's particularly stressful for you to dress up and go out for date night and arrange for a bunch of things and then complain about the food or the drinks or how tired you are in your heels or whatever, then maybe not. Not for you.
And then
So maybe more like setting aside some time for each other every week in a casual, happier, peaceful atmosphere.
Possibly. What would really work is having bedtime routines for your children eventually, so that you actually have time together.
Hina is a certified sleep trainer,
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
this is going to be our next topic of
It's
discussion.
brilliant. It's brilliant because it's good for their brain and it's good for your brain. And you.
Okay.
But many times post bedtime, we're both just like, so, what do you want to eat for dinner? So
Yeah, but that's also good, right? It's
So there's a
comfortable.
tip for that as well. And I feel like there's no harm in kind of unwinding and just doing what you want to do in that free time. It doesn't have to be both of you together all the time. But what I would advise is fantastic hygiene. Like smell your best, feel your best at the end of the day. And whatever you're doing, sit really close. And touch
Oh, that's
each
a really good
other
tip.
in spaces that you would not normally touch other people in. And I'm not talking about just your genitalia and your intimate parts, but I'm talking about simple things like, putting your
The
hands
neck,
behind
yeah.
someone's neck or playing with somebody's ear or kind of playing with the skin behind someone's knee. I mean, these things keep you connected and together and yet allow you to vegetate and space out and
Yeah.
not particularly engage in active intimacy.
So, I
love
told
that.
Karan this. I was like, can you stop like constantly just groping me as I pass by? Because that's all he does. Like, he cannot like. So this is now he's so scared. This is how he. Is this okay?
Can't help himself. You're his milky meat.
He's basically a man child.
Angel jugs.
Milky jugs. Okay, romance is still spontaneous.
Romance is not spontaneous, neither is love, neither is a happy marriage. Everything is a choice. It's a moment to moment choice.
Like the choice that the time that you choose to have angry sex and then conceive a baby.
Some part of it was choice. I don't know
Yeah.
about the conceiving part.
Pissed me off today.
I hate
9 months
you!
later.
But let's compartmentalize this.
No, but romance has to be something that you actively choose every day, because it's always easier to choose being lazy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always easier to choose
Be scruffy and
be
smelly.
scruffy or take someone for granted or know that they're always going to be there. And then that's what starts eroding on your relationship, because you're not choosing every time to put in that tiny ounce of effort in
Take a
things.
bath, like in the night.
Brush.
Once in a while.
Simple thing like
Brush.
brushing. Many
Yeah.
couples kind of stop brushing after a while, and when I mean, it doesn't work. Why? Like, you should be doing everything. Brush, gargle,
That's not
everything.
for the
Yeah.
couple. That's for your
Anticipate every
That's one
day.
for the
Yeah.
dentist.
You know? Yeah, you'd brush and go to the dentist. So why not when you sit next to
Yeah.
your partner?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, that's a problem your dentist should solve. If you're not
Yeah,
brushing
like,
your
throw
teeth, there's
away-
another serious problem you have.
Throw away those extra old t-shirts with the holes in them, which you find super
Yes.
comfy. Yes, please, thank you. Just call Karan up after this. Just have this conversation.
Okay, other couples look so perfect and getting sleep and zigs, and while their kids sleep peacefully in their own bed, and here you're just like dead at night. Dead
Can we
duck.
exchange kids? I don't know who these couples are. Yeah. I honestly don't know who they are.
Just on
They don't
social
exist.
media.
Just on social media.
Yeah. But what about those quick fix clickbaits? 30 ways to
Spice up your
spice
sex
up
life.
your sex life. Or okay, well, 5 ways. Yeah, chal na.
Chal, I'll try one of these 30.
Inalla, give me as many options as you can.
5 days to better sex.
Yeah. Follow these 5 tips and, revolutionize your sex life or something like that.
I mean, if you're really enthusiastic and you want to try all these random things and you have the energy for it, great. But it's a far better route to kind of first explore what really aligns with you and then kind of creatively look for 5
Bathing-
special ways.
Bathing,
to do
brushing,
it.
and sitting next to my husband aligns with me.
Yeah, and like it's like someone like Alicia will go through like this list and be like, I do this, I do this, I do
No,
this,
no,
tick this off, check.
I can't do these social media posts.
No, but it puts that they also put pressure on you, right? Like they also make you
Yeah,
feel like
that's the thing.
you're not doing enough, or you're doing too much, or you're like,
Who's doing too much? When do you ever feel you're
the
doing
person
too much?
who's like extra horny after they have a baby.
Oh my
The
God.
raging hormones people.
But we're going to do some real-time therapy questions with you, right? So we put out a poll out there on our social media and we have some questions that some of our listeners have sent in. So we're going to ask you those. In India, obviously, we live in, a lot of people live with joint families and things like that. So how do you deal with people meddling in your relationship, having opinions about your relationships, extended family, etc.? What would you advise a couple like that?
And that affecting
your obviously your
the partner.
relationship and your partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to be tactful about it.
Yeah.
So it's just like a simple word, it's boundaries. And you have to lay down these boundaries very gently and repeatedly. So if you're laying down harsh boundaries and it's like ultimatums, this or else, then it's not going to work, because that's not sustainable. Because there's going to be things that you find interfering, your partner may not find as interfering or irritating. There will always be another perspective. You always have to take full responsibility for your role to play in each of these. You cannot always say it is XYZ fault or this situational fault or this. If you haven't laid down certain boundaries repeatedly and kindly, then that's what you're lacking in that situation. If someone doesn't understand your boundaries, if you are scared of upsetting people, if you want to be seen in a particular light, you are playing a very active role in that reality of yours. And
You're
yes, it's
enabling it a
very
bit.
complicated. It's
Mm.
very, very difficult. We're talking about the emotions of multiple people and
Yeah.
all in the name of love.
Yeah. Especially in India
Things
because we're
are
so
done in
family
the name
oriented,
of
you know.
love.
like-
Yes. And we also have very, very strong value systems towards the
Correct.
duties that we have to perform towards elders, towards our family in
Right.
general.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
have to honor those parts within you, and then you have to also start honoring the fact that you actively choose to do these things. Because if you don't do them, you're going to feel bad anyway.
Hmm.
But when you do them, you want to complain about them as well. So it's actually a brutally honest conversation that you have with yourself or your therapist about what is it that you're actively doing to keep this up? Why are you doing it? And if you are doing it, then can you start embracing it as part of your reality and start segmenting that out of compartmentalizing that
And
out
not
and
then
having a different
using that as like a thing of,
Yes.
okay, this is the problem.
yes.
And that's chipping
Mm.
away at your relationship rather than like,
Yeah.
having a conversation about it.
And also not putting the onus on your partner
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
I was
deal
gonna
with
say that.
this.
Yeah. You got to be a
thing.
team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cock block situations. Some of us, and I don't want to name them.
Maybe somebody sitting in this room and talking right now.
have some kind of community situation going on, community living situation going on. You know, at some point, all your kids are in your bed, and or sometimes your door is not locked. Your kids can walk in anytime. Now, how to navigate?
And then you have animals jumping in as well.
Even though you live in a 5-bedroom mansion.
how to navigate this.
So I think it's very, very important to make sure that you don't engage in too much play with your kids present and around, because it's going to be extremely hard for you to undo that
Yeah.
or let
No,
them
I can
unsee what they
imagine.
No. I'm not saying that is not what I'm saying.
So you have
Do not miss
You have to go to jail, yeah.
situation. Well, you won't go to jail. This is a very common thing in India.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you think 10 people had 10 kids
No,
with,
no,
like,
I feel very conscious.
in a 1-bedroom
So,
house?
sometimes
you
it's like
have
you've
to
got
make
5 minutes
the-
in the morning. Clack. So
Yeah, you have to
just
actually
gotta
start becoming
adjusting to this new routine is
exactly. You have to
tough,
figure
yeah.
out new timings.
Or I have to have the
clear boundaries, install multiple locks on your doors, have clear instructions that, if our door's locked, don't keep banging or don't keep asking to come in. Or figure out if you have children that do not understand, that they're very young, or if you have older children who just get awkward if that happens, then you just have to figure out your timing. You know their schedules, you know yours. You kind of figure out when they're not around. And at home, you have a random playroom. Put a jhatpat over there.
sorry, what's a
Use
jhatpat?
that. One of the little
Futons.
mattresses, futons, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have 5 bedrooms.
So
Exit the one with your kids.
get super creative. Like design your
Baby,
home
don't do
for
your
that.
Lego on this today. Yeah? Mama has to clean it first.
Just send them to us on a play date.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I mean, some other people got it on in my house when I was not there.
So it's not the house vastu for sure.
Timing.
She has such a big house. We got lost in her house. Like, my kids couldn't find us.
You just use that
Watch
to your
it.
advantage.
Well, it's not my house. It was like a staycation for me. Just letting go of all your inhibitions translate to a loss of sexual interest.
It's actually the other way around. When you let go of inhibitions, you're probably going to have more sexual interest. But that's a very independent. If you're looking at sex as a one-man show, yes. If you lose all your inhibitions and it frightens the dickens out of your partner, then it probably won't work. What's going on? I can't deal with this new, animalistic sexual goddess.
But
Yeah.
even like what you spoke about earlier, losing inhibitions in another sense, like not grooming or sort of just farting, burping.
Yeah. This farting burping.
My husband
Like,
sometimes
how many
comes
ever
next to
times
me.
you tell them to? They're like, oh, that's because you make us feel so comfortable around you, so we fart. because you're farting only when you're most comfortable. I get it. But now that does nothing for me sexually. You know what I mean?
But don't take that husband into the bedroom. Just take another person into the bedroom, like in same guy. Compartmentalize him as this is him when he's vegetating on the couch. But if he does that in the bedroom with you, and that's like a hard no, you communicate that and say hard no. Like, this does not work.
And as
for
I
me.
said, hard no. But then he's like, but now it was coming. Now what do I do?
Excuse
Also
me, I need to
Punjab.
take a break.
I need to go back under my rock.
He's also Punjabi who eats a lot of beans.
Lactose, clearly. Too much dairy.
He's gonna slap me when I go.
I just want to hug her for this one. I don't have an answer. So sorry.
She knows.
You know, but this leads me perfectly to my game that I'm going to play with you. Let's figure out our alter ego names. The person that goes into the bedroom. Okay.
Svetlana.
So,
I don't know why.
so I'm going to take out my phone for this.
Svetlana.
Okay. First, we'll go with Ria.
Russian goddess.
Ria first.
Okay.
Okay, your birth month is October. I know that. What is your current phone battery percentage?
Probably be like 2 or something. 81.
So you are Angel Hooter.
Yes, I am. Woo, woo.
Last night when I did this with her, she was Angel Jugs.
I'm just an angel. Like what I'm hearing now is angel.
Basically,
Angelic.
you're an angel.
Yeah, I have to enter the bedroom like
Choir.
Yeah, choir.
Okay, so Parinaz, we're gonna go with you first. What's your birth month?
April
April. Okay, and what's your current phone battery percentage?
75.
Your bunny jugs.
Oh God.
Okay, Alicia, you. Birth month.
June.
Yeah. And what's your battery?
82%.
Oh,
Something jugs.
Something jugs.
your candy hooter.
Well, my husband
Candy
loves
hooter
candy.
is so appropriate for her though.
Yeah, her husband's like, yes. He has a secret candy stash.
It's me.
Okay, and I'll tell you guys mine.
What's your battery? You know?
I am Princess. I'm Princess Tush.
Princess Tush, let's go smoke some kush.
Yeah, we should put a link to this. Find your stripper, hooker, sexy name or whatever. We'll put a link to it.
Yeah, so all the jugs and the hooters can like
What
come
are the other
alive
ones
in the
available?
bedroom.
Well, it depends. It's a combination, right?
What are the...
So it can be like diamond something, kitty something,
Ooh, kitty.
Bambi something, Trixie
I feel
something.
like I need an outfit for this.
Chesty jugs?
Can you imagine if someone was Chesty Jugs?
Oh, you know what would be a good one?
Oh, Fantasia.
It would be a
Yeah.
lie.
Fantasia.
Sizzle.
No, it doesn't go with anything.
Fantasia Fire.
Kitty cream.
Kitty Lick.
Kitty lick.
You know, we should have this as a reel and be like, what are they talking about? Can you
you
guess? Here is a link. Find out.
Well, this was very enlightening. Some of us crawled out from under a rock and learned things.
I'm gonna go home. I'm
But-
gonna go through all my trousseau, like my wedding night, for that one night when they make you buy all the sexy outfits.
And
For
when-
that specific when you are at your lowest weight and never fit into any of it after that.
Never wanted-
Never wanted, like they're with the tag still on. It's like dated, like brush off the cobwebs,
Yeah.
find it and slip
But
it on.
thanks, Parinaz. I'm really feeling very seen and
Yeah.
just...
And I have my weekend plans, watch list sorted.
I have my tonight's plan sorted.
No, but also for the viewers out there, right? Like,
Men
don't
and women,
feel
you can
ashamed.
thank us.
Don't feel ashamed. It's not a taboo topic. It's nothing. Everyone goes through it, and it's not something that you need to hide. basically.
Yeah, we've all been through periods where it's been like, oh, I mean, this is one more thing I have to do, and you're so tired and so like not interested, and you feel like, am I the only person going through this? You're not.
Thank you so much, Pari, for being here, for
Thank
lifting
you,
this
Lee.
rock off my head.
I don't think I've laughed so much.
I'm glad you had fun.
It's been awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank
hopefully you
you.
can be a regular feature. I'm sure our husbands will all like want that.
Yeah,
But
Zig's dog with Paris.
Yeah, yeah, that can be a series.
we can do it, and you guys can send in your questions for her.
You know
And-
how they have aunt, like your aunt
Agony aunt.
Agony, this thing, but we have
Ah.
to give you. We need to know
Oh.
your sexy name.
Oh yeah,
for
now
us.
you have to tell us. Now you have to tell us for this.
What was your sexy name? Angel Hooters. No.
Angel jugs.
No,
what?
but
Angel
the real
jugs.
sexy, not a generated one. The one that she doesn't tell.
The one that Ria really
Really,
wants to
really wants
know.
to.
But thank you for being here. It was super special.
And also, we're gonna put your details. So if you like seek help, if you
Yeah.
are unable
Sex
to,
is important.
yes, exactly.
Very important.
Like, share, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.